Picture this, a wall. Not just any wall. A triple-layered, moat-protected, 40-foot-tall masterpiece of military engineering that had stood unconquered for over 1,000 years. And on the morning of May 29th, 1453, that wall was about to fall. The sound wasn't just stone collapsing. It was the slamming shut of a book that had been written over 2 millennia prior. The Roman Empire, in its final, enduring form as Byzantium, was breathing its last. I'm Ibnul Jaif Farabi, and this is Empire Builders. For weeks, the great city of Constantinople had been encircled. Inside, the last Roman emperor, Constantine XI, commanded perhaps 7,000 defenders. Outside, the Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II, just 21 years old, marshaled a force 10 times that size. But numbers weren't the real story. The story was obsession. Mehmed was a student of history, and he knew that to secure his empire, to truly become Kaiser-i-Rome, Caesar of Rome, this city, this final jewel, had to be his. He brought to its walls not just men, but a terrifying new instrument of war, a monster cannon, so large it took 60 oxen to pull it, capable of firing a stone ball weighing 1,200 pounds. The age of castles was ending, and the age of gunpowder empires was announced with a thunderous roar that shook the very foundations of history. The siege was a clash of worlds in every sense. The Byzantines had their ancient walls, their Greek fire, their unshakable faith. The Ottomans had relentless artillery, elite janissary troops, and a terrifying new tactical flexibility. Mehmed did the unthinkable. He had his fleet dragged overland on greased logs to bypass the great chain guarding the Golden Horn, effectively surrounding the city by sea as well. Imagine the psychological blow to the defenders, looking out to see Ottoman galleys where no ships could possibly be. It was a masterstroke of engineering audacity, a symbol that this young sultan would let nothing, not even geography, stand in his way. The final assault began in the dead of night. Wave after wave of Ottoman troops crashed against the battered walls. For hours, it seemed the defenders might just hold. The line was buckling, but not broken. Then, in the chaos, a small postern gate near the Blacherney Palace was left open, or a section of wall was finally scaled. The exact moment is lost to the smoke and screams, but the result is not. The Ottoman tide poured in. Emperor Constantine, the last of his line, is said to have thrown off his imperial regalia, charged into the oncoming swarm, and vanished into legend. By afternoon, the crescent flag flew over the Hagia Sophia, the great church of divine wisdom, where emperors had been crowned for nearly a millennium, became a mosque. An epoch had ended. We often mark 1453 as the end of the Middle Ages, and for good reason. It shattered the old order. The land route between east and west was now firmly in Ottoman hands, spurring European kingdoms to seek new sea routes, which would accidentally lead them to the Americas. Greek scholars fleeing the city carried precious ancient texts westward, fueling the Renaissance. The Ottoman Empire, now centered on this magnificent new capital, Istanbul, ascended to become a global superpower for centuries. But when I think of 1453, I don't just think of dates and domino effects. I think about walls. We all build them, literal and figurative. We rely on them for safety, for identity. The Theodosian Walls were the ultimate symbol of Roman continuity, and their fall is a stark reminder. No wall, no matter how brilliantly built, no institution, no matter how ancient, is permanent if the world changes around it. The defenders trusted stone, but the future belonged to gunpowder and relentless, adaptive ambition. It's a lesson for any builder, any leader, in any age. The greatest defense isn't a static barrier, but the agility to meet a changing world. Thank you for listening. This has been Empire Builders, a production of Light Knot Studios. Find our full archive and more at https://www.lightknotstudios.com.